shoe, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
Look at it, please, sir.
Yes.
So when you were committing the crime, you ain't look like that, but now that you see yourself off the reflection, you wanna, yes, this is, how are you getting grossed out at footage of you being a murderer? We see through that messed up hairline right there. Yo. What's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be looking at the most brutal killers reacting to death sentences. I'm not gonna lie, I hope you get mad, because if you do the crime, you're doing the time, and it's that simple. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you guys join us on Twitch. We're live every day, links in the description. Without further ado, let's get started.
This is Michael Brady, who attempted a prison escape that resulted in the death of 4 prison workers at Pasquotank Correctional Institution in North Carolina.
He's already a murderer behind bars, and you're a murderer in bars, and you got 4 of them? Dude, this guy is a menace. For you to take that risk, you had to. Looking at his smile, you know he does not care.
I stabbed him like 4 to 8 times. I hit Jeffrey Howe until he stopped moving. I don't know how many times I hit him with a hammer.
Brady was facing 24 years in prison for an attempted murder conviction after he shot at a North Carolina state trooper. And 4 years into his sentence, Brady and 3 other inmates brutally murdered 4 prison workers with hammers and scissors.
So you were a cop killer before bars and after bars. You know how insane that is? Y'all ain't even escaped. For some reason, I'm highly doubting they even escaped. We'll see if they escaped. Clearly, they didn't escape well enough because the guy got caught anyway.
That man, Michael Brady, beat that man, George Midget, like he was trying to bust concrete.
Brady then tried to hop a fence, but then was captured at gunpoint.
It was like a bloodbath.
Yo ass ain't even escaped. You did all of that. You were willing to murder someone to escape, and you ain't even escaped. Bro, you are so lame. I'm glad you didn't escape because now you got, you got the consequences from your actions.
And I stepped in between Jeffrey and Wendy, and I slid trying to get in because the whole elevator floor was nothing but blood.
During the trial, the prosecutors argued that Brady was the one who planned the attack and had no remorse for the killings.
We know who originated the plan. We know who led the plan.
After Brady is found guilty, he now takes the stand at his sentencing.
I'm up here to tell the truth. You can ask me anything you want. I'm gonna tell the truth. Whether it hurts me, whether it helps me. I don't care about that.
You don't believe you're crazy, do you?
No.
I think he's crazy. Do y'all see that lineup? That's pretty crazy to me. Regardless of the crimes he did, just looking at that cut, you could instantly see that he's crazy.
I don't think I'm crazy, no.
And you do know the difference between right and wrong?
Yes.
So you know murder is wrong.
Murder is a different name for a death, but yes.
Your freedom meant more than their lives.
Yes.
And now the judge reads out the jury's recommendation.
Jury unanimously recommending that the defendant be sentenced to death.
Brady seems completely emotionless, and the judge later agrees on the death penalty, where he now sits locked up in Colorado, awaiting his death sentence.
If you were told you're getting the death sentence, how would y'all react? I'm crying, bro. Y'all will see the ugliest face ever made known to mankind. I will be uglier than the dream face review.
This is Austin Myers and Timothy Mosley. They were both convicted of murdering 18-year-old Justin Back in Waynesville, Ohio. The 2 men, Myers and Mosley, went to Back's house in an attempt to rob a safe that belonged to his father. During the robbery, Back was strangled with a choke wire.
The idea of strangling them, that way it would create no mess, pretty much be an easier job to handle. Obviously, Justin was trying to put up a fight, and he wasn't overpowering us.
Justin Back was then stabbed 21 times until he died.
Justin was trying to ask us why. He was pleading to stop and pretty much begging for his life.
20! Why in the world would you ever need to stab someone that much times? It's like a couple times, it doesn't do the trick. Bro, that's overkill. I feel like that's the COD equivalent to teabagging someone, dude.
On trial, Mosley testified against Myers to obtain a plea bargain, where he pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
Finally, for Myers, he takes the stand in front of the jury, asking them to spare his life for his family in hopes of avoiding the death sentence.
If you choose for me to die, it's only going to cause more pain and suffering.
Why didn't you come up with that idea when you stab someone more than 20 times? Apparently you didn't have that reasoning and logic, but now that your ass is in that corner, you want to ask people to forgive you and shit. Doesn't make any sense, dude.
For another family, not me. It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's going to hurt more innocent people.
This is now the father of Justin Back speaking.
I'm not going to stand up here and tell you how much I hate you. That is without question. I would just hope that every time you close your eyes at night, you see my son, Justin.
After the jury
Oh, you dad, man. You gotta hit him where it hurts.
recommended the death sentence, this is Myers' last chance to plead for his life in front of the judge.
I think there's a lot of good things I can do with my life if you allow me to keep my life.
What are you gonna do from a prison cell, buddy? Huh? You're gonna clean the cells? You're gonna feed the other inmates? I'm sorry, but there's not much you can do with your life after you killed someone, so you're gonna serve extra portions of beans and rice for the prison inmates. That's your idea of good things.
The judge doesn't buy it. He hands down the maximum sentence.
The defendant does not understand how precious life is. Therefore, the sentence of death shall be imposed upon Austin Gregory Myers on the charge of aggravated murder.
Nothing but a slight nod. At just 19 years old, this made Myers the youngest Ohio individual to be put on death row.
As much as I want to like throw away the Ohio law and everything, I know we're trying to let go of the Ohio law, but I've been seeing so much criminals from there.
He is currently awaiting his execution at Chillicothe Correctional Institution.
There were so many lives destroyed by this, and it was just for nothing. I mean, there was no money in the safe. There was nothing in there. They did this for basically nothing.
You ain't even get paid, or like you ain't getting nothing from murdering him. You just did it for fun. Even in GTA heists, you gotta murder someone to get the money. You murdering people because you wanted to murder, and you expected yourself to survive that?
This is Nico Jenkins, who was convicted on 4 counts of murder when he went on a killing spree in the span of 10 days.
Nigga, that's Pitbull. That's Pitbull, dude.
In Omaha, Nebraska. At 15 years old, Jenkins was sent to a youth correctional facility and served a 10-year sentence in prison for carjacking and assault. A month after his release, Jenkins shot and killed 2 individuals in a robbery.
One thing I will never get, chat, is when prisoners get out, you would think, oh, I'm so happy I'm out. All that time served in jail, I will never do the same thing again. And they do another crime. Do y'all hate outside? That's one thing I will never get. Went to jail, do a crime again. All that time reflecting in a jail cell didn't do anything to you? You never once said, I can't wait till I get outside to be a normal person?
8 days later, his next victim was a former inmate he originally met in prison. He was shot and killed in his own garage. 2 days after that, Jenkins killed his 4th victim in a carjacking. Jenkins was arrested for unrelated charges, but it was here that cops were able to pin the ammo used in one of the killings to Jenkins.
Do you not realize I got Nico Jenkins? Do you not realize that? I got Nico Jenkins. I got you.
What do you mean you got me?
I got your DNA at the murder scene. I got your DNA in the car.
Sir.
I got the weapon. I got Nico Jenkins.
Not gonna lie, Chad, I'm gonna let you know how they figured it out. Basically, there was security camera footage reflecting off of his head. Do y'all see how shiny that nigga's head is? Guarantee if you look close enough, it'll give you a fortune teller. From the security camera, off the reflection of his head, it showed him murdering someone.
Sir.
I got the weapon. I got Nico Jenkins.
Jenkins pleaded no contest to 4 counts of first-degree murder. He also waived his right to a jury trial, meaning a 3-judge panel will decide if he is innocent or guilty.
Each one of these murders was a
judge panel will decide if he is innocent or guilty.
Imagine your roommate comes in and this is how he looks. Are you not being scared? Are you not having nightmares purely off of his face?
Each one of these murders was a deliberate and planned act. The victims were pre-selected and the murders were purposeful.
After Jenkins is found guilty of all 4 murders, he sits still with little movement. And now comes his sentence.
Therefore, this panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
As Jenkins is sentenced to death, he seems to be completely unfazed. He is currently incarcerated at the Nebraska State Penitentiary awaiting his death sentence.
Crazy.
This is Martez Abram, who is convicted on 2 counts of murder for the killings of 2 Walmart employees in South Haven, Mississippi.
Most normal Walmart. I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but I feel like everyone that's a criminal, any one of these people, they all have bad haircuts. We've never seen yours either. What are you hiding? That's because I'm a criminal.
Abram had worked at the Walmart but was faced with a suspension after he apparently had a knife on him in the store. The day he was suspended, he returned to the store with multiple weapons and opened fire, killing store managers Anthony Brown and Brandon Gales.
He was laying on the ground with his eyes open, and I ran up to him, and I looked at him. I saw him with his eyes open, and I ran up to him, and I looked at him. I said, Anthony, honey, please say KC one more time.
He also shot an officer who survived due to his bulletproof vest.
Once I got out of my vehicle, I heard gunshots, and I felt the pressure of the bullet hit my back.
He was arrested on site. Now in court, Abram admits to all crimes.
That's you, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
Look at it, please, sir.
Yes.
So when you were committing the crime, you ain't look like that, but now that you see yourself off the reflection, you wanna, yes, this is, how are you getting grossed out at footage of you being a murderer? But when you were actually committing the murder, I'm pretty sure you weren't acting like this.
Mr. Gale is on the floor going down at this point, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay, and that's you shooting him, right?
Yes.
Look at the screen, sir.
Yes.
That's you shooting him?
Yes.
I know what he's trying to do, chat. He's trying to plead for being crazy or like, you know, one of those people that weren't right in the head. It's not working, dude. We see through that messed up hairline right there.
Can you admit that you shot him in cold blood?
Yes.
You shot him again, didn't you?
Yes.
After that, you went back to the toilet paper aisle, didn't you?
After that, you went back to the toilet paper aisle, didn't you? Yo, you telling me that nigga got shit products? You got poop products afterwards? You ain't even leave the area? You wanted to get toilet paper?
Yes.
This is one of the victim's wife delivering a victim impact statement.
You took Anthony from me on the exact day 20 years earlier that we had our first date.
And now this is when the judge will decide Abram's fate.
In count 1, I will sentence you to death. Count 2, you will be sentenced to death. In count 3, you will be sentenced to life in the penitentiary.
As Abram hears that he will be receiving the death penalty, he stands silently, where he now sits on death row awaiting his execution. This is Marquis Lloyd.
Yo. If you gonna have dreadlocks, the least you could do is get a lineup. Yo, bro, why is your hairline so dirty? Yo, is this the Black Vegeta?
Marquis Lloyd, who is convicted of murdering a police officer in Orlando, Florida.
I'm facing a relationship, but somehow I have absolutely don't know nothing about. And they framed me.
Lloyd was already on the run from the police after he killed his former girlfriend, who was pregnant with his child. A month later.
Dude! Out of every time you could have killed her, not saying you should have killed her, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't have killed her, but you're gonna do it while she's pregnant with your baby? Oh, he didn't want to pay child support? Y'all think he just didn't want to be a father and he said, F it, 2 for 1. Boom. John Morant. Yo!
Later, Lloyd is spotted in a Walmart. You can see him walking in. Moments later, Orlando Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton pulls in. You can see her grab a cart and walk in. Reportedly, they cross paths every few minutes. Outside the store, Lieutenant Clayton was notified and she tried to stop and arrest Lloyd when a shootout begun. Lieutenant Clayton was killed during the interaction, being shot 4 times. Following the murder, Lloyd took off again, which led to a 9-day manhunt, where he was later found. During the arrest, he tried to escape, where he lost his left eye in the altercation.
How did they take your eye? Did you have a shotgun gun? You telling me they just robbed your eye? What did you have to do on the escape for you to lose an eye?
Here in court, Lloyd took the stand. Reportedly, he believed everyone was out to kill him.
And I was just reacting, Mary. I was just reacting. Even when they opened the door, I was just reacting.
You know who he looks like? Do y'all know that music reactor? Y'all don't see it. Y'all telling me y'all don't see it?
I just reacted. I fired 2 shots, I just reacted.
The jury then found him guilty.
It really hurts deep down inside.
This is Lieutenant Clayton's sister giving a victim impact statement.
She stood in the place as my mother when I didn't have one. I truly miss my sister. I truly miss her.
And this is the moment that Lloyd hears that the jury unanimously recommends the death sentence.
We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Marquis Lloyd, should be sentenced to death.
Lloyd seems to mouth something out to the public. A few moments later, Lloyd has an outburst.
You've been trying to kill me. People have tried to frame me for murder.
All right, why don't we remove Mr. Lloyd from the courtroom?
The judge later agreed with the jury and sent Lloyd to death, where he now sits behind bars waiting for his death sentence.
You know, a lot of these people are cold-blooded murders because most of the death sentences we've seen, it was just straight face. That's how you know they did it, chat. Because honestly, I feel like if someone was innocent and they got the death sentence, I feel like they would have more of like an emotional reaction knowing they didn't do it. But anyways, YouTube, that does conclude brutal killers reacting to death sentences. And conclusion, don't kill people or else you might get the death sentence. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you guys join us on Discord and catch us on Twitch. Make sure you guys subscribe. Check this out. Links in the description. Watch for life. Love y'all. And peace.